Hello, welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry. Today we're talking about communication overload, and I want to help you solve that. So if you have thousands of texts and emails and messages and you just kind of mark them all unread, or you try to ignore the little circles with the numbers on it on your phone, and you feel like, I can never get on top of all of this, then I hope today will bring you some peace and help you feel calm and excited. If you are brand new, here at Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. I know life can get overwhelming, but there is a path out of the overwhelm. And for our brand new people, if you get our welcome kit, it's at learndobecome.com/welcome. Free resources, a full directory of everything we have here at Learn to Become, and a little guided path. So if you have 5 minutes, we'll show you where you could start. If you have an hour, we'll show you where you can start. And it'll be really fun to have you come into the Learn to Become community and know that you have a place where you're understood and supported. So welcome, welcome. I actually want to start out today, though, with our community celebration. So I have 4 I'm going to share. Then we will jump into the main topic of the podcast. Okay, testimonial number 1 is from Alicia, and she said, "Hi, STEP community." So STEP is Steps to Everyday Productivity, our signature program that helps you build a system. We call it a command central. She said, "I'm working the program and so happy to report I don't think I've ever kept my desk this clean for this long, 6 weeks or so and counting. I truly forgot about what my old normal mode of mess was because now I'm so used to seeing the surfaces in my office. So grateful for the STEP program. I can't believe that I started following them on social in 2020 or so, and I told myself I didn't need to buy the program. I should be able to figure this out. I'm a doctor after all." Well, 5 years later, I was still in piles, and the added overwhelm was really bringing me down. So I pulled the trigger, and so happy I did. I still have to practice the weekly review and the actual doing the work part, but proud of this small step of a consistently clean desk. Thank you so much, April and all. Now, this isn't supposed to be a STEP commercial, but I do want to say if you're following along and you've done the free stuff and you watch our YouTube videos and you're like, yeah, I would love some more support to actually get results and have accountability and coaching, then our STEP program is there for you. Okay, next is Jennifer. She said, "Double update. It's hours later and I realize it's not just a $46 win that she'd posted. Over the next year, this one small action paid for Step Mastery in full." Okay, now I'm realizing these all sound like commercials for Step Mastery. Okay, well, I do believe in it, so I'll keep going. She said $552. "Before I would have likely not even known Xfinity raised my bill. I'm really glad and proud." And then she put an update. "Because of digital organization through Trello and implementing these steps, I was actually able to make that phone call, sign my husband up for the 12-month discounted internet, and instead of paying $66 per month, we're going to pay $20 for the same service. $44 savings. The clarity is starting, and I've barely scratched the surface of this program." And then she has like 10 emojis that are all like happy and butterflies and stars and flowers and palm trees. She says, "I'm so glad I took a chance." Anyway, so cute. And then she's talking about how she already found a gift card, an expired check. And anyway, she has a little screenshot of her calculator showing $552 that she has saved. So it's just fun. It's watching people realize that there is money dripping or hiding or, anyway, falling away, and now she's got it back. So good. Third is from Judy. She has a great before and after of a guest room. And so the first photo just shows bins all along the side of the bed, bins on top of the bed, just a lot of stuff. And then the next photo, it's just pure and clean and guest ready. And she said, "Latest success is the guest room. We'd emptied out our RV before we traded it in. There's a new one coming in September. And all the stuff ended up in the guest room along with the boxed pictures for a family photo wall project we have yet to tackle. I spent a couple hours with the hubby sorting, discarding, and packing things away. Voila! This was on the project list, and we nailed it in one afternoon. Before and after shots below, so you can come see those on the show notes page." And this last one says, "I liked the pyramid idea for projects so much. We teach how to do current, in progress, or waiting, next in line, and someday. So I liked it so much, I redid my project whiteboard to match. Before, this Before this, I just had a list with no time frame attached. This makes so much more sense visually. It's color-coded for who is responsible for each item, and I crossed one item out for privacy reasons. You can kind of see it's crossed out, but she's got little colored dots next to the project so you know who it is that's going to do it. The current project, she's got step on there working on it. So great. So anyway, I just love reading these celebrations from our community. And I wanted to share these early in the podcast because sometimes they're at the very end. And I just want you to be able to experience the energy, the fun, the momentum, the peace that people are feeling as they get their systems built. It'll change your life. So let's dive into some really specific things today about communication overload. Most of us just have way too much coming into our lives. Most people I meet, if they show me their phone, it's like hundreds of thousands of emails or tens of thousands of unread emails, hundreds of texts, just so many little red dots with numbers. So I asked our Learn to Become community group what exactly was contributing to their communication overload. And I have a link to the exact conversation in our free Learn to Become community group on the show notes page. We have related links at the bottom. So if you just go to learntobecome.com/episode 298, then you can see all of it, or learntobecome.com. You can see everything. But I just want to make sure you can come into the Facebook group if you want to be part of that conversation and add your thoughts. So here are the main challenges that our community members shared. Number one, too many communication channels. So this leads to overwhelm and fragmentation of information. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Donna told me, I'm part of a performance group and we have a Facebook Messenger group list and a WhatsApp group mailing list and a text message group list and an email list. Each of those started as a way to send critical information to the members, but it's so hard to find the critical information because they always turn it to a reply all situation. So the important stuff is buried under a pile of thumbs up, smiley face, LOL, emoji, things like that. So those are just so many messages coming from the same group, just lots of channels. And then April shared text messages from friends and family with general chit chat, but also trying to organize plans, group messages from other parents with kids in the same class as my son, group messages from the school parent team, WhatsApp messages from a broader group of parents at school, and Signal messages from another group I'm involved in. I don't even use Signal, so that one's not on my radar. But she said not to mention all the emails coming in about medical appointments, medical information, and emails with more details than the group chat messages from text, WhatsApp, and Signal can provide. And that feels like just the tip of the iceberg. It feels like I'm drowning in communication sometimes. So you can probably relate to just all these different places where things are coming. Number two, too many messages in general. Aaliyah shared, while I was in college, I found that I was getting about 500 to 600 emails every couple months from the different professors, grading websites, school newsletters, etc. I had many friends who said, yeah, I just don't check my school email because it's too much. But I could tell this seriously weighed on the students in my classes, and many of them just avoided the emails altogether, missing important date changes, scholarship opportunities, deadlines, club events, etc. So that's really hard because if you just say, oh, I'm just not going to look at it, you're probably going to miss some things that you wish you'd had, but understandably you were overwhelmed, so you avoided it. Christine gets emails every day from some companies she'd like to stay connected to. So, for example, a company, she'll sign up for their emails and they send her deals, like daily updates on products and things. So some of the deals she wants, but she doesn't want an email every day. So we'll talk about how to solve that in the next part of the podcast. And then Jeanette gets tons of feedback requests every time she rents a car, books a hotel, goes to the dentist, etc. She's like, everybody wants my feedback. And if I don't do it, they send another one. So that's taking up bandwidth too. And then Jennifer has hundreds of emails coming to her work email with problems she needs to solve and situations to support. And it's tough because she's already attending too many meetings and supporting committees and coaching employees and addressing conflicts. So then these extra emails feel like an added burden. Oh my gosh, just talking about this, I'm starting to get like my tummy all tensed because it's a lot, right? Okay, last major theme that I found from our community was that there are lots of details in the messages that are hard to locate when you actually need them. Jane said, one of my daughters is a dancer. She dances with her dance school, and is part of a huge statewide dance concert. So when emails come my way with dates and rehearsal schedules, competition dates, what costume stuff I need to get her, where does she need to be on a particular day? Oh, I bought this for you. Was that for the dance school competition or the school dance competition? Oh, and then there's the dance exam stuff too. And there's just the little emojis of the person like covering their face. Add that with the fact that 2 of her sisters are in the state dance concert too, in different sections. Okay, oh boy, so much going on. All the details. Liz shared, multiple modes of communication are bogging me down. We're selling a house and building a new one. I get emails, text messages, and voicemails from the realtor, salesperson, and project manager. I'm not sure when I need to access this content, what the mode was used to convey that information so I can review it. So it's like if you're thinking, oh, I need to get that thing from the realtor. Well, was it in the text? Was it the email? Like, where was it? Okay, so all of this likely isn't a surprise to you. We're human and we have limited mental bandwidth. So making decisions, dealing with emotions, handling interruptions, or even just knowing messages are waiting for us somewhere can take brain power. But at the end of the day, we need to take a leadership role in our lives. And while it often feels like it's us against the world, there are some techniques that really make a difference. And I just want to speak heart to heart for a second. Because I know that even while you're listening to this podcast, you probably have 18 things on your mind. Maybe someone in your family was offended by something you did today, or someone's upset, or someone's going through maybe some depression or anxiety. Maybe you have some friends who are really suffering with some things and they've reached out to you. Maybe you have happy stuff going on, like you're on your way to a vacation, or you got this new event you're going to, or there's a party going on. I mean, you might have some of that going on too. Maybe there are some big work projects that you're excited about, or some you're not so excited about, or maybe something just overflowed and spilled all over your kitchen. I mean, there are so many things coming at you already, not even just text, emails, messages like that. You have a lot that you're supporting and that you're trying to do. And so when it comes to something like messaging, it's easy to say, I have more important things to take care of. I've got a friend suffering. I've got a family member needs something. I've got to wash clothes. Everyone needs underwear, whatever it is. But I promise you, if you can carve out just a little space to build your system, to create some simple things I'm going to talk about right now, simple solutions, you're going to feel less stress. You're going to feel like your mind is opening up. You're going to be able to handle the difficult situations in your life and the exciting situations in your life because you're going to have more energy. It takes some time to figure out solutions, but then it's going to feel so great, okay? So I'm going to start with some great advice from our community members because when I posted in the Facebook group, I said, what are your challenges and what's working for you? And then I'm going to share 3 more suggestions that you may not want to hear. Okay, I just have to have that little caveat. All right, so here's the great advice from our community. Number 1, consolidate where we can. Sometimes we can influence group leaders, friends, family members, colleagues, etc. to streamline communication by only using certain channels or setting rules, okay? Eric, for example, prefers text over emails. So I rarely email him. I just know, if I want him to get it and respond, probably a text is the best. In our company here at Learn to Become, we'll send emails if the information we're sharing might need to be referenced again in the future. It's just super easy to search something in Gmail if something did come up and we needed it. And then we just have casual conversations in Slack. But those are deleted automatically after 30 days. We have a free Slack version. So we know after 30 days it's going to delete. So you never want to send really important information that they're going to need in the future into Slack, just because the storage is better in Gmail. So this is where just consolidating and having rules is helpful. Christine, when referencing the daily company promotional emails, she said, I've used your suggestion of creating a filter on Gmail so they all go into a folder called vouchers/offers, and I can go and clear them out every so often. The best thing is that they don't go straight into my inbox anymore. So sometimes there are some nice rules you can set up, and knowing something is just going to skip your inbox can feel great. And we'll talk about automation actually in a second too. Stephanie shared, I tried to keep subscription emails in one account and more important or time-sensitive information like people, appointments, doctors, bills, school, extracurricular, etc. in another. So that's nice. She kind of got them separated that way. All right, next piece of advice from the community is to batch responses. Jane said, normally I look at messages once or twice a day. And when I get home from work and have a couple of minutes, I will add dates and notes of what, where, and who needs what. Okay, so I thought that was nice. Just maybe having a little break in the day to look at the messages, but not taking them every second they come in. Jennifer shared, scheduling no meeting blocks on my calendar, including all-day Fridays. My challenge here is to hold fast to those blocks. But I like the idea of having certain times where, you don't have meetings, you don't have interruptions, and you can just focus on getting your work done. Because I agree, it's essential to silence our phones and close our email. Like right now while I'm recording, I have my email turned off so that I won't see if an email just came in. Because even though I'm not going to check it in the middle of recording a podcast, just knowing an email came in, I'm like, oh, I wonder what that is, right? And so being able to close it down, turn off my phone, just focus, it's helping me to be able to be fully present here on the podcast. I also put extra social apps like my WhatsApp, and I have a couple other social ones that I've been in for different groups. I put those on the second page of my phone with only the specific app notification turned on. So it does show a number, but it doesn't like pop up as a banner. It doesn't interrupt or come in like as a text message. So I don't have anything popping up during the day from those. And I actually have to go look on the second page of my phone to see if there's a conversation going on. And the thing is, technology is going to be changing. So the apps I'm talking about right now, the technology I'm using, it might be completely different, even a year from now, 5 years from now, I don't know. But it's the idea that the things that are not critical are put out of my sight, okay? And for my phone, I did create a setting where if one of my favorites calls, then my favorites are my husband and children, then the phone does ring. Text wouldn't interrupt me, but I've told them even if I'm on sleep, like if it's nighttime or I'm taking a nap, if it's an emergency, like call my phone and it'll wake me up or I'll come out of the meeting or whatever. And I know it's easier said than done to like set all this up, but this has been extremely helpful to many of us here in the community. Okay, and then third is automate when possible. So Jackie wrote, I leveraged email rules like an Outlook to manage them. If I was CC'd, it went to a CC'd folder. Emails from my bosses were color-coded to catch my attention, and certain senders went directly to trash. Gmail filters do this beautifully as well. I have dozens set up, so emails are automatically sorted, forwarded, like labeled, etc. as needed. And once I learned how to set up these Gmail filters, oh my goodness, I was so excited because there are lots of situations where I'm like, I don't want anything with that subject line. And then, if it's a standard subject line that always comes to me. So I can have everything filtered, put in folders, so I only see what's actually essential. Okay, now it's time for 3 more suggestions you may not want to hear. And okay, maybe you do want to hear these, but they're not as easy to digest. So suggestion number 1, before you sign up for something, make sure you recognize the full scope of the commitment. My rule of thumb is to imagine how much time or energy it's going to take and then multiply that by 3. And you might be thinking, April, you are such a pessimist, such a killjoy. It's not that bad. And maybe you're right, but here's what regularly happens to me. I'll volunteer to run something like a charity drive for our local food pantry. And I assume it's going to be easy peasy. So I'm thinking a couple of emails to the group that's making donations, maybe a flyer, collect the items at an event, load my van, and then drop everything off. Like I'm totally willing to do that. It's not hard. But then questions come up from donors, so that necessitates more text and conversations and phone calls before the event. Then people who forgot might want to drop things off at my house later, so it's more text and calls, to coordinate that, all for a good cause. And then my husband needs the van to do a different errand, but it's full of stuff because I'm waiting for everything to come in. So all of a sudden it's like what I thought was going to be easy, it just turns out to be a lot more. Now, I'm fine. It's just that we want our expectations to match our reality because that reduces our stress. It's the same thing with kids' sports. It's more than just practices and games. Usually there's a photo day, There's a closing dinner, there's coordination for a coach's gift, there's a snack rotation, there's updates when it rains or practice is canceled, there's people who need rides, and it's all great. But if we don't build that extra stuff into our expectations, we're going to take on too much and then end up overwhelmed. It's the same thing with a work project. Even if someone says like, oh, could you do this quick summit? We're going to do a summit and all you have to do is show up for an hour. No, that's not what it is. There's like a pre-summit interview, and then there's planning out what it's going to be, and then there's emails back and forth, and then there's scheduling and sometimes rescheduling. And then after it's over, they want help promoting or whatever. Anytime I say yes to anything, I just need to know, hey, it's not just the one thing. It's typically like so much more. Okay. So that's number one, is just before you sign up, just make sure you recognize the full scope of the commitment. Give yourself that buffer. Number two, extract all the details and tasks as you process your messages and put them into a trusted system. Again, this takes time, and it's easier to say, well, I'll just go back to the text when the time comes. But honestly, when you learn to extract all necessary information as you go, you get to the point that your messages are all read and you literally never need to go back unless some odd situation comes up. So I personally use my step system to manage all of these things. And here are just a few examples. Now, I'm not saying you can never just leave something in a text, because I don't take every piece of information from my text and put them into my command central. But if I think something might get buried, if there's going to be any confusion, like if I can't find something in 2 seconds, then it's worth it for me to just put it in my system. Like the 2 seconds it's going to take to put it in my system is going to save me time in the future. So, okay, some examples. If there's an address for an event or details about what to bring, etc., I just put that directly on my calendar. The way I do this is when I type it into my digital, I use a Google Calendar, I add an asterisk after the name of the event, which means more is in the notes section. So if I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to this special conference, I'll put conference and then asterisk, and then down below, it's at this hotel, this room of the hotel, starting at, and the time will be on the calendars. But any other details I need, I just stick it in there. Or I'll say something like in the title, lunch for cousins, bring fruit platter. That's the title. So as I'm looking ahead and planning out my week, I'm like, oh yeah, there's the fruit platter I need to prepare. So I can add that in to my errands or my food prep time or whatever. If I get a text from someone asking me for a job reference or something like that, and I say, hey, sure, let me get back with you, then I go and I write respond to blank about blank, like this person about the job reference, as a task on my calendar for the day I want to send that message. So I do not leave text unread and have that remind me to do a task, because then your brain is often going through multiple steps in order to do that. So let's take this example. Someone's asking me for job reference. This actually happened 2 days ago. And I sent the information along to Eric because we were kind of talking about it. And I said to the person, hey, yeah, let me get back with you. Now, I didn't say when, because I didn't know when Eric and I were going to have a chance to talk about it necessarily. So I just went 2 days into the future, and I use Asana, ASANA, to manage tasks. I added that to today's date and put respond to this person about the job reference. So today it's on my calendar, and I'm on my task list for my calendar today. So Eric and I just had our planning meeting that we have every Friday. We talked about it. Now I have that on my list to follow up. It's just so helpful because then every day when I look at my phone, I have no text messages unread. Everything's processed because I know my tasks are going to be managed by my command central. Now, if I were remodeling my house and getting quotes, details, etc. from a variety of people, I would either copy or screenshot the information and then keep it in my digital project manager. I use Asana, along with that project. So if, let's say its current project is we're remodeling the kitchen or whatever, then anytime I get information that's really important to that project, I'm going to include it right there. Like the links, the screenshots, any related tasks, it's all right there. So when I work on that project, I don't have to go sorting through any emails or messages or anything like that. It's all right there. Even pictures you can keep. So it's so great. And that way, everything's essentially just gathered. So your brain never feels like it's spread thin. And I know that's how most people operate. Most people's brains are spread entirely too thin. And the way you know if your brain is spread too thin is if when you go to sit down to work on something, you feel like you don't have focus because you're trying to like wrap your head around every possible detail or piece of information or item you own. Your brain's like, I have so much to take care of. That's how you know you're spread too thin. So if you want to just feel calm and focused and relaxed, then having this system will make a big difference. And of course, if you have a full step system set up, it's amazing. If you don't have the full thing set up, even just having projects and keeping everything together, a simple next actions list that we talk about all the time here on the podcast, a calendar you can trust, even just those things will be hugely helpful. Okay, and then third, final piece of advice that you may not want to hear is you may need to say no to some things. Does that hurt your heart? None of us likes to hear this. I like to believe that I have the bandwidth to do everything my heart desires. But when I try to do too much too fast, my brain skips some steps. For example, after getting back from our 3-week trip to Boston and Kenya, we were there with Village Impact, celebrating a new school that was built. So exciting. I cleaned out my paper inbox and found 5 wedding and graduation announcements. Now, Eric and I looked at our calendars to see which receptions for the weddings we could attend. And then I was sending money to the others and simultaneously coordinating a bunch of other bills and correspondence while my mind was trying to process some difficult things that had happened while we were gone. And I was trying to get a stain out of the carpet that appeared when our plants overflowed. And in my haste, I put an important wedding reception down a week early. And when Eric and I showed up, we were the only ones there. So we ended up having a great conversation with the future bride and groom who were at the house. But I realized I was trying to do too much at the same time. And I needed to just say no to some of that and take it one task at a time. I think I was just so hungry to finally just have everything organized. I was just like skipping along as fast as I could, thinking I can do it all. Anyway, we did go back to the real reception the following week, and they were happy to see us back. We were the only people who came twice, so that will be memorable. Anyway, oh man, it's funny. Okay, one other thought I want to share comes from a stepper named Gwen. In response to a question about how to possibly get project work done when routines take up way too much time, she shared this incredibly insightful response. She said, routines are choices we build into our lives. Should I live in a house or an apartment? Get a pet? Get takeout or cook? Use a paper bowl or ceramic? We construct our day-to-day routines around hundreds of choices or happenings over time. Realizing that my routines are heavier than I want is very valuable. Yes, it's frustrating, but we're all here at Learn to Become because we're already feeling frustrated, right? Maybe it's the most important thing that I needed to look at, instead of distracting myself with projects or shopping. For myself, and likely many others, I had to face that I had created a life that was too full of routines and was too heavy of a lift for the number of hours in my day. I was annoyed that STEP made me look at routines. I only wanted to figure out how to find time for all my projects. Turns out, lightening the routines was the essential first step in the process. I had to deeply reconsider my priorities and simplify things that I found value in to create time for myself to be creative, have adventures, and rest. Deconstructing can be very freeing. Thank you, Gwen. That was super insightful. And I love that she's like, I was annoyed I had to look at it because I just wanted more time. And I have people all the time who say, help me get organized. I have so much stuff. I need help organizing it so I can do everything. And sometimes I'm thinking, you literally have like 50 hours of routines and you're working full time. And when are you planning to sleep? How are you going to do all this? Recognizing that we're human and we need to make some adjustments, it's not failure. this is actually very freeing, like Gwen said. So at the end of the day, we get to decide which and how many forms of communication come into our lives. As we were visiting that small village in Africa last month, part of me was envious of their quiet lives. Very few people had televisions or telephones, and internet access was extremely rare. They gathered together in person often, and they had incredible attention spans. Even the children sat through a 4-hour celebration without getting up and running around. I was amazed. I'm like, honestly, all these school children are sitting here for 4 hours, and they were engaged and they were doing great. And while the volume and frequency of information can truly be overwhelming, I do see it as a gift to be able to communicate with family, friends, and our whole Learn to Become community, all from my phone or computer, while sitting in my own home or wherever I am. Like, this technology can be a huge gift and blessing. But what I don't want is for you to have the benefits and blessings of technology at the cost of your personal peace. It is possible to create simple systems with our communications so we can do what matters most. And here is your Learn, Do, Become invitation. Take a few minutes to assess your communication pain points. Look through the ideas that were shared here, and if you want to come to the show notes page and read them, that might be easier. And if desired, create a small project that includes setting up filters, adjusting notifications, and or having conversations with those who message you most frequently to create better processes going forward. This is totally worth it because your mind is going to be clear and calm, and you're going to feel so good. Now, if you are listening to this right when it goes live, on September 3rd, 2025, we are doing a live STEP Momentum Accountability Group. This is where we have a live kickoff call, and a few weeks later, we have a live graduation online. You can do the work at your own pace, but we have bite-sized messages sent by email and text, and we have accountability posts in the STEP Mastery Facebook group. So this is included with the STEP Mastery program. If you're already a stepper, if you are self-study, you may want to upgrade to Mastery right now to be part of this STEP Momentum. Or if you're in Mastery, just go log in, and there's a place to log in and get registered, and we'll send you all the details. But this is a time of year when so many people are like, I am ready to get organized, and STEP Momentum is fantastic. We have testimonials, pictures of all the money people are finding, like awesome details at learndobecome.com/momentum. So please go check that. It's super fun. We also have a date night happening. It's the Friday night after this podcast goes live. So it's Friday, August 22nd, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's anyone in our Arise membership. You can learn about that at learndobecome.com/arise. But Eric and I are doing a date night with your finances, and we cannot wait. Essentially, we're going to map out the path to having at least $1 million net worth that we believe that is achievable for every ariser. And then we're going to have you look at the path and then do some of your own work looking at your net worth. We have a worksheet to help you calculate that. Look at your income, your debt, your goals, and help walk through whatever you feel is holding you back. So excited about that. That'll be with me and Eric and our Rise community on August 22nd. So I have the details for all of this on our show notes page, learndobecome.com/episode 298. I just hope that you will come and immerse yourself in Learn, Do, Become. Hopefully you can come be part of our STEP Mastery program, build your system, come join our Arise membership where you can really architect your life and have that balance in finances and health and purpose and higher power and relationships and being organized, all of this. And then my real goal is just that each day you're going to wake up excited and then you'll go to bed content and you'll be able to manage the stuff that's coming at you. I know it's hard. I know you're dealing with so much. We've had dear friends who are going through divorce and cancer and financial issues and rebellious children and just all kinds of stuff. And I know it's not just our network. I know this is worldwide. There's a lot happening politically. There's a lot that our hearts are like wanting to fix in the world. But hiding or ignoring it, just that doesn't help, right? But when we can actually take steps to move forward, get organized, decide where to put our energy, and we have that focus, then we can make an impact. And we can feel that sense of purpose and knowing that we're living our life in the way that truly does value what matters most and honor what matters most. Okay, have a great day. Thanks so much for being here with us, and we'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.